Hello, and welcome to DooM WAD Travelogue. Today, DooM WAD Travelogue GAIDEN. As usual, I'm Nick. Miss Jack, never mind. New Jack City, if you're confused. There, I like that one. Ooh, boy, today's show, I'm on. This is number 2, and this is just about empty. Normally, this is a show where we say even though we're stuck at home, there's no reason that we can't go and explore new and interesting places, just we'll do it in the form of community-built DooM WADs and level sets. Today's a little bit different because I thought, hey, what if I did a little more chill of a stream and went kind of creative with it. And so today I thought I like working on DooM map, like part of why I like looking at DooM maps, or maybe as a result of looking as intently as I do at DooM maps, I like to make them as well. And I like the sort of process of like sketching out scenes and ideas and just, you know, making it and forming it. To me, it is somewhere between like the process ends up being somewhere between like sketching, you know, squares and rooms and textures while you're on a phone call, just on a scrap piece of paper. It's somewhere between that and like using clay to just sort of, you know, form and shape and model and squish and stretch until it is the most pleasant forms by your own judgment. So today we're going to do a little bit of that. Where do I start talking about this? Okay, so what I'm jumping into here is I'm not going to start from scratch. I'm going to pick up where I left off. I've been doing this since last year. There was this whole Mapvember thing, which I came across my dash, and it basically the concept being here's a whole bunch of prompts so that if you are like a GM or a level designer, you know, something where you need to end up drawing maps to have, you just draw a bunch of maps, just sort of become like a hobbyist architect and just sketch out some spaces that you can then use in your games, in your levels, and in your whatever you need to use them for. You'll just sort of have them on hand. And I said, oh, that's great. This is a great list of prompts. Let me use them to make DooM maps, because when I'm learning a new like mapping program, generally what I'll do is I'll make my house. I'll make the house of my OC from my long slumbering webcomic. Then I'll try to make an endless rain, and then I'm out of ideas. So, but this one has worked pretty well. Again, I've been, you know, sort of pecking away at it over the course of a year. I might still be working on it by the time this year's rolls around, so I'll have to decide what to do then. But I'm up to 15 of them, or 14 sort of done and behind me. 15 I have right here. And I figure we'll just pick up on it. I'll start by sort of showing you what I have here. I think what I want to do is make the noise. So this is what I have here. The prompt for this one is temple. So here's what it looks like on the map. Whoops, not do that. For anyone out there wondering, I'm using Doom Builder X because Doom Builder 2 and then Forks, or do you want to use Slate, or do you want to do these other things? And as far as I can tell, while the current tools are very accessible for the different pieces of assembling a finished WAD, there's no one good, one be-all, end-all tool, because it is, you know, a community project and everyone has different needs, and so everyone forks off whatever they need. But I'm using Doom Builder X. Right now, I'm just worrying about placing maps. I'm not doing anything special with textures. I'm not doing anything special with, like, I'm not doing any scripting in my levels. I'm just using sort of, theoretically, these are all kind of vanilla compatible, I believe is how you would say it. Like, unless I make them so big that you would run into like memory allocation issues. I think all of these levels I'm making might be playable in like original DOS ass Doom 2. Don't trust me on that. Like I said, I don't even quite understand it. I do understand that when I boot up Doom Builder X, I can kind of just start drawing lines. So what do we look at here? All right, we bring up my things. Here's our player start. And what I've done here is I've put a little alleyway, which then we go through a doorway, and then we go into this big kind of like floating field. That's why we see the skybox texture on the floor, so that way it will have like the infinite void feel to it because there's skybox below you. Very PS1. I love that look. Then we have this sort of little 3-room, 3-node building over here in this little field, and then eventually we're going to exit out this way. Now, the two ways of looking at this, also filled this with monsters and enemies. Actually, before we finish, I did want to add more resolution. No, because that takes it out of reachable space. I want to put a... Oh, it's not going to pick up that, huh? All right, interesting. But we want to put a Berserk pack right here is what I want to do. I'm going to make this a Berserk pack. We'll leave it right there. And I wanted to come up here, and I want nope, not an item. Lines. It's going to be really weird. Normally I do this as a very like almost like a podcast activity where I don't really speak through what I'm doing. Line mode, flip the normal, and then sector mode, because I want to take this and I want to change the floor to something silver, something that stands out, something that we'll notice, right? Yeah, so that'll look good there. And I'll explain what I just did in a moment. Right, so this looks like a big area. This is sort of my like a street view, but you have an impassable wall here, so that way you can't actually go out there, which is why I only need this funnel shape, because that is basically the most like view angle you can get looking out there, so you can't tell that it's a trapezoid. It just looks like a you just see the lines of it. What do I mean by all of that? Okay, well, let's go into the game, and I'll just sort of play you through what I have so far. See where we're at. That's the best way to start, right? Okay, so now I've brought it up, but I need to do this so y'all can actually see it, and that'll take a second to... Hey, that's Doom. Okay, so here's our little alleyway at the beginning. Here's our... Okay, so I messed up the angles, but you can kind of see, until you walk up on it, you can't quite see it. So I'll adjust that. That's fine. We have this alleyway. We turn, and then we enter this field. I haven't fixed the walls so that they do skybox yet, but you can see this sort of above and below skybox. I haven't blocked off these walls, so you can fall in there. That's an issue. Baby steps, you know? Just like with regular art, you sort of sketch, you put the big ideas and big shapes down, and then you refine them and polish them until the only errors left are the ones that only you would know it is, and not somebody who is only seeing the final product. So he's up there, and he notices us. But because he's sort of on a plinth, he gets stuck up there. Yeah, monsters, turns out that they cannot traverse. There are heights that the players can traverse, which the monsters can't. So there is a way to make a ledge that is high enough that you can walk up to where the monster is, but the monster will not walk down to where you are. And that's useful, I guess. Since we're at pistol start, I'm not going to go after him because he'll just melt me. But then there is these folks. He's the only one who's going to wake up and just shoot that guy who's not going to respond. Interesting. Okay, now they're gonna fight. I just want that... Oh, he got him. I just want that sergeant's shotgun. And wake everybody up. And so also so far the only ammo on the map is in the weapons dropped. So I just got one shotgun, and the chain gunner will drop a chain gun when we deal with him. So given the limited ammo, that's what I wanted the stim pack here for. So the prompt was temple, and the thing is, like, I didn't want to do like the obvious one, right? And then I goofed up and did a pretty obvious little chapel kind of thing. This is only like the first sort of like zone of this map. I think I intend to have 3 more in a kind of a linear progression. But here's where we are for now. So maybe I'll play with different kinds of temples, which sort of like your cathedral, chapel, temple. And then, I don't know, maybe I'll put like a pyramid temple. Okay, so now you can see the line on the floor. Before it was just the same inky darkness as the rest. But I wanted to put something, whoa, oh, that's scary. I wanted to put something noticeable on the floor because when you hit this line, it drops that. Before it would drop, and this is when I talk about visual language. This is what and why you do it. Because before I change, I need to deal with you. Oh, we can run out there. Interesting, we can run out there. Do we want that? So basically, when it was up on the thing, I can't see it now. Basically, I had to raise it like possibly unreachably high so that here, when you walk in right here, you can see the red card through the window. That's why the window is there, and that's why the card starts on such a tall pillar, right? Because so far everything up to this point is we have, you know, dead end, straight line, straight line, straight line. And then at this point, this is the first time we actually get a split in our possible paths. So we have the stairs up to where the chain gunner is. We have what looks like a path around to the right, and we have the path around to the left. And actually, did I put anything here? So here's the secret. There's also kind of not actually anything here. This ends in a dead end. But again, so we have sort of like 3, and you know, a player might not think this consciously, but the first thing you do when you walk into a room, right, is you sort of check your corners, you check for your exit ways, you check your paths. And so what this one does is, because we can see that the card is in the room, it's not like sitting on the window, it's on a pillar behind the window, we get this idea of like, it's at least telling you, okay, here's our goal. Like a key card reads as like a clear goal. A key implies a locked door, and a locked door blocks progression. So the key implies this is the next step to get to the rest of your progression. Okay, so when we show a key, first you think, I'm going to need that to get somewhere else later. And there are ways we can subvert that. I'm not trying to make big gimmicky maps here, so I'm not worrying too much about, you know, how much I'm going to subvert these things. So the point was, from here, for how I built everything, for kind of this shot that I wanted, which is still rough, but it's fine, interesting enough, has some verticalness to it, I could add more textures, I could add more visual interest, but for now, as far as rough blocks go, this is fine. As far as fun sketching, which is what I'm here for, this is fine. I wanted you to make sure you could see the card through the window, so that way, of these 3, instead of saying, oh, there's like 3 things for me to explore and work out, cool zone. Thank you, I say to the chat. Instead of just having sort of like these 3 paths, I say, here's a key. Here's your sort of, let me communicate what your progress is. You're looking for this key. So even though, yes, you'll know when you've hit the right path when you get to the path that has the key on it. And we know it's not the staircase because, you know, we can see that it's behind a window. A window implies visibility, but not, transference, transducing. You can't go through a window usually. So actually, like, I need to do something about this pathway over here, because this pathway is a dead end, and currently there's nothing in it. So there's 2 things I could do about that. Either I accept it as a dead end, but I do something to convey that over here. So block it off, put a wall, put some sort of barricade, kind of like the way I had the red pillars over there. I could put barrels or something non-destructible over there, so that way you see like, oh, there's like space behind it, but it is blocked, therefore it is not a pathway, so you don't read it as a pathway. I know what I could do. I'll get to that in a minute. Or the other thing to do is to put something back here to say, okay, if you do take this dead end, we'll reward the explanation, because a dead end is almost a punishment for exploration, I feel like. But the fact that, you know, you see the path, but so much of it is visually blocked means, like, basically right here, we could put a power-up, we could put a weapon, we could put a stockpile of ammo, we could put a bunch of health. That will be the reward for the exploration of actually taking this path. Which one matters, or which one is better? Depends. So if I give a reward, that also has gameplay machinations? No, implications? Yeah, that has gameplay implications. So like, it's like, okay, if they do follow this, am I going to make them stronger? Am I going to make them better prepared? Are they going to be, you know, less sort of tense going to the next section? How is that going to affect my next section? How much do I want them to be rewarded? So like, you know, beginning of the map, not bad. I just put the Berserker thing. And again, this is level 15. So if I was doing this like really hardcore, I would be thinking about this in terms of like, what is their like possible state coming out of the last level? What weapons did I give them last level? What weapons did they enter that level with? How well kitted out are they by this point? And I think for my sequence of maps, they definitely have shotguns, chain guns. I think I've given a super shot. Yes, I've given a super shotgun by this point. I think I've given plasma gun twice. I think I give a rocket launcher in an early level and then rockets later. I forget if those were optional. No, I think I made them obvious because it was just like, here's a rocket launcher and exactly the right amount of rockets for this enemy in the next room. If you land all of your shots, it's easy. If not, if you miss a couple, well, then it might just be a hard fight. But that's a way earlier level. I believe in the last level, I give you a bunch of rockets because I give them a hard section of level. Okay, here's what I want. I want that bit to be, I want to block that off so you don't, I'm here to respect the player's time as well. I don't want to waste their time. And if I give them something to explore, they're going to, you know, there's enough players out there who just like to explore. And if they're going to spend their time on it, then I should, like, you know, either, if it was just a loop and you come out the backside, that is less of a waste of time than exploring and just getting a dead end. So either I should open up the back of that, or I should block off the dead end, right? Make it not a dead end, make it a shorter dead end, whatever. But the thing is, for the way I want to approach this, so like specifically coming around this corner now, basically this zone I've considered for approaching from this angle. If I unblock the back, then I'd have to reshape everything over here and allow them to come through. but that would also allow them to skip all of this until they hit the red door, at which point they need to backtrack. I am not a big fan of backtracking. I'm not a big fan of like letting you easily miss progression items. So I don't want to open the back of that up, which allows me to know that they're going to approach this scene from this side, which is part of why it's in this order. You see the monsters in the seats first, who don't trigger. Then you see the doorway. Then you see the shotgunner, who does trigger and will. And the shotgunner is high threat because hit scan, high damage, even at this range. So that'll sort of convince you to try and take him out. That's the part that triggers the rest of the monsters, right? Although oddly enough, because the chain gunner is up there, that actually forces you here, so you don't get to be careful about it. So I may want to change something about that shotgunner. I may want to add some more cover over here so that way he's not... I may want to make this a blind spot for the shotgunner and the chain gunner. Right now it's only a blind spot for the shotgunner. But yeah, because I want to be able to control the way that we approach this encounter, right? Okay. And then we go in here, and we come up, and we get the key. Right, I was talking about the key. I love talking about this stuff. Sorry, I'm going to jump. This is the way I think about it. This is the way I'm going to talk about it. We're going to be jumpy today, folks. So the whole point was I had to raise the key up to make sure that you could see it, to give you that sort of MacGuffin of, hey, here's the path split, but instead of blindly exploring, you have something you're exploring for, and you know when you've gotten it because you find that thing. So I have to tell you what that thing is. Easiest way is to just show you, put it in view, and a key jumps out because it's so like critical to progression or whatever. But that means I had to put it up on a pedestal almost high enough that it's out of like reach, or it's not, more that it's not obviously within reach, right? Sort of like waist high, table high, chest high is in reach. This one's sort of like above the head. I'm not totally sure. Hearing you talk through your process is enjoyable. Thank you. It is enjoyable to talk through it as well. I'm glad you're here today then, because that's all we're doing today. A key at sort of like floor to sort of like neck height is obviously within reach. Anything sort of like hitting above eye line or higher is not, you wouldn't immediately assume that's in reach, and that's where I had to push this key. So to fix that, I just have the pedestal drop. Because there's two ways to do it. Either we need the pedestal to drop to make sure that the players know, oh, you're going to be able to get this. How do you make a pedestal drop? So two ways of doing it is, the obvious way is put a button on it, or put a button nearby or something like that. That was more steps than I felt the scene needed. The pedestal itself, I feel, is too narrow to put a button on, so it would feel kind of forced, and I'd have to do like extra line tagging, whatever, on it. I could put a button on this wall over here, right next to it, sort of right over here. But so the thing is, when I talk about you want to be able to draw a clear line between pushing the button and what pushing it did, right? And the problem is that in this room, the room is small enough, the pathway is sort of spiraled out enough that the only clear place to have a button and see what it does is to put the button on a pillar. But like I already said, it didn't feel quite right to me. Because like I could put it on this wall, but when you push it, button's nowhere on screen. You could maybe like put it over here and like have it jut out of the wall, but that's weird. So the other way you do it is I just said, oh, the pedestal will lower as you approach it. And so like this is the one way to go. It gets up here. But so here's what gets me, because when I see something is out of reach, I think, oh, maybe it's not. This was my playtest, like right before I started streaming, just to make sure tech was working. I got this far, and the thing that I thought was, oh, if I'm in this room, right, I come up, I get the stairs, and I get the view of this, and I get this thing that's like, oh, the key is not obviously within range. I would maybe, and I don't see a button to adjust it from where I am, right? So I might actually get this far and say, oh, I'm not supposed to be here yet because I need to lower the pedestal, right? And that's what I saw, that's what I had before. Even though the way that you get to the pedestal is you get this close. But again, from here, now we have all of our visual information, we see the path, and we see the lack of buttons or anything like that. So having the walk trigger on the ground without this divided line, this painted line, it was invisible. There was nothing there to tell you, hey, there is a line of note on the ground. So like, even though all I did was change the texture, this is now your visual clue. The line jumps out at you and it says, oh, there's something interesting about this line, I guess. And which should be enough to be like, hey, what's up with this line? And you know, a line on the floor, what do? You cross it. Because also it doesn't read as a piece of the architecture. It's not in the same tone as the rest of the architecture. It's not just a piece of, it's not an aesthetic detail. It jumps out too much to just be an aesthetic detail. Or let me tell you the secret, talking all of this out, which is part of why I love talking it out. I just gave myself a better answer, which is that I would give up here because I would get here and see that the key is out of reach. All that means is the same walk trigger that I've put in front of us here, just put it behind us. Just put it so that by the time we get here, we've already hit it. Which basically means what I'm actually going to do is get rid of this line I just painted. What's up, Doom Slayer? Welcome. Today we're building a map and talking through the process of it and all the considerations. So I hope you enjoy behind the scenes stuff. So I'm going to undo painting that line, and I'm going to move that trigger to just somewhere near the top of the staircase. So that way, we're going to do the same thing of, we'll walk up here, we'll have already triggered it, so that way when we turn to get our visual information, the key will be inside, obviously reachable. That's going to be the our obvious way to do that. It'll be smooth. At that point, players won't even notice what happened necessarily, but they will see clear progression. And then we come out here, and there's going to be something, and I'm going to put a door. Probably I'm going to put a locked door right here, just because same kind of thing. Just as we get back here and we see sort of like the three-way split, when we get right here, this is still a two-way split right here, but having a big locked red door right there on the left tells us, don't worry about that yet, worry about the right. We already know the key is sort of over here on the right, so it'll sort of like give, by the time they get here, the players will have all of the information to tell them about, you know, which way they need to be going at this point. And so that's kind of like a little trick that I'm not even sure if it'll work. This is me sort of just, you know, postulating, if I can use a word that sounds too much like pus for my liking, that what I'm doing is I'm creating like a totally linear, like, critical path, but I'm adding forks and branching paths in there. They're just kind of fakes, right? They're kind of red herrings, or rather, you know which one is the right one when you get there. So it's kind of the thing, it's just like, okay, is it going to feel linear because it's obvious where to go? Or is it going to feel like open and branching because there are literally, you know, physically branching paths? That's something that I'm going to have to ask playtesters when I get around to playtesting it. I can't wait to do that on a live stream too, let me be honest. Okay, so we know what we're going to do. We're going to move that walk trigger. We're going to do something with this corner, and we're going to put a red door over there, and that's a good first step, and then we'll decide if we need something else or if we can move on from there. Welcome back to the editor. Okay. This is the part where it gets quiet. Normally I would have a podcast or something on. And kind of just like all the stuff that I just talked about, now we just kind of do it, okay? So now that we've seen it sort of in 3D, we know what this space looks like. I will say there is a 3D mode in this editor that is extremely useful. I generally am only going to be using it for texturing and lining up textures and doing things like that, because personally I'm pretty good at understanding the relationship between 2D maps and 3D spaces, so I can kind of know what I'm doing while working on this. I can kind of tell what my what 3D effects I'm having by working in this 2D space. All right, here's what I want to do. Show me. I want to be working here. Here's what I'm going to do. I've already decided. I want to build a wall right here. So, and I'm going to make it 128 because 128 is a nice power of 2 to work on. So, all right. I don't know if that's how professionals do it, but if you draw the lines, basically as soon as you, in this editor at least, as soon as you finish a loop of your lines and vertices, it creates the room out of that. The way I do it is I'll like kind of like connect the dot style, where like I'll draw 3 sides of a bunch of boxes, and then on the closing I'll close them all off when I go to finish the loop. And what that does here is that does for multiple boxes out of it, even though I only did one loop out of it, let's say. All right, I want to flip all of these normals because I'm specific like that. And what else do I want to do? Okay, these 3, I'm going to change the floor. Let's make it wood. Right, and this still makes sense to all be 1 because technically it does touch. It is still connected over here. I could break that in just some random way. I don't see the need to right now. Yeah. Okay, so now those are on the ground. I do want to, gonna take this, we're gonna new tag it. You won't be seeing the pop-ups I'm working with. I'm gonna tag, but you see now, so I have now tagged the sector and the line, and you know that they're tagged together because when I highlight the line, it highlights the outline of the sector to say, hey, these are related. And what I'm going to do with the line is I'm going to call this line a floor. Switch 1 floor. I want switch 1 floor lower. Switch 1 floor raise, 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 floor raise, floor lower to lowest floor. Can I get floor raise? Nope. Switch 1 floor lower to 8 above highest floor. Yes, I think that'll work. Floor lower to, unless it counts. There you go. And now you can see that the line has changed color to say this is now an interactable line def. All right, now we drop in here, and here's our new wall. And we're going to just sort of raise this up a bit. There you go. So now, here's our same sort of view, and what you're going to get out of this is now there's a wall over there. There's our barricade. Now we know exactly what's going on with that. Let's see here. So what I want to do is I want to sort of Boy, it is hard to see when those are highlighted. Side def, lower. Let's make these... I'm already using a lot of wood out here. Can I use wood door? Let's do wood door. This is a known door texture, right? And we can raise this. I can... That's rough, but I can live with that. I can live with that. Except. This one. This is the one that we made interactable. So I want to put a switch on this. Oh boy. Oh, I don't like that though. Can we put a better one, a more fitting one? Might have to change my texture selection around it. Let's do this one. All right. We'll do this. So a thing about this one is this texture is not meant to be used on such a wide door, so let's bring it in. Let's bring it in. Bring it around, kids. It's me, Coach McGurk, right? So we're going to do that, and then let's... What matches that? What matches that? Is that metal? How about let's just use this metal? Yeah, and then we'll... And then we're not going to put the... We'll align those. Okay, so over here, it just looks like a solid metal wall. I need to... Oh, boy. Here, let's just fly better. Let's change these to some kind of metal. Yeah, that matches. But now when you see it from the back, we see this face. So, all right, I still want to do this because I do want to actually block this off. So let's put obstacles barrel. Nope, burning barrel. If the barrel's already on fire, it won't explode because it's releasing all of its pressure by being on fire, right? Right. And we're just gonna fill in this gap. So that way when we land here, we go, ah, we can't go that way. It's full of burning barrels. I understand. I don't think I actually need that many burning barrels. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Actually, what we can do is we can offset it for a bit of visual interest. We can set it back from the wall, but now you get, that's not a pathway. There's a barricade. But you'll notice that what I've done here is I've created this little pocket, which is not accessible from the front because even though that will lower when we hit the button's on the inside. The way to get in here is to come up the stairs, drop. So functionally what I've done is instead of having 3 paths, I've cut off one of them to make it the exit path of the second path, right? Which the chain gunner makes this a little threatening of a path, depending on how loaded out they're coming into the level. But it is a way that you can go. When he drops a chain gun, there's a reason for you to go up there. And then if you're paying attention, you'll notice this little pocket back here. So now I sort of I've made it not a pure I've made it not a pure bloody mess. No, how about like a good dead player? I like that to a little bit of storytelling. I've made it not necessarily just a dead end. Or rather, I've not made it a pure exploration reward, but it is almost like a secret now that it's just like it takes a certain amount of it is easily visible, but you have to pay attention to it. You have to notice it. It's like a observation challenge, I think is what I'm looking for. Pool of blood and bones. Good. We'll put that right next to the dude, and maybe we'll assume that it's theirs. And then the actual reward for doing all of this, and that says, hey, you should jump down here, is I like a backpack, because it's just, no. So, we give them the one shotgun. We'll give them more shells for it back here, right? Let's put, I like an evil eye. I just think they're neat. An evil eye is an obstacle. Thank you. And then I feel like I was about to put something else back here. Oh, and one health pack. I like to put a health pack near a guy who is already dead as a way to say like, oh, close but no cigar. All right, now let's look at it. There you go. Now you get a sense that I've created this extra little secret pocket, secret scene, that you, from our incoming point, it looks like a barricade. It looks like not a path, but actually it is. And even when you're up here, it looks like a ledge, and a ledge is not an obvious pathway. So people who are paying attention, who are sort of on it, who recognize that there is a space there that was not accessible before, will know that all you got to do is look over the edge and you see, hey, there's special treats for me. And you even see the button to know that you won't be trapped down here. And that'll open the door, and then you get back out. Cool? Cool. Love it. We just added a whole new secret zone. Love it. Love it. I do love it is the thing. Oh my god. Okay. And that solves my unrewarded dead end problem. Great. We've done it by not only putting a reward, shortening the dead end, but also made it like a secret. So that's like a non-obvious pathway. That's we've obfuscated the path. I love it. All right, now let's fix this room. This room is a bit easier. So I'm going to select this sector and say join, so that now they're the same sector. Then I can blow away that line, these vertices, and now textures have not broken. Well, textures are fine. Textures are fine. Fine enough. But we want to look at this and we say this is tag 1 and action 36. So let's just do the same, but like here, and I'll give this tag 1 and action 36. Now this has turned green, so this, and it'll highlight that. So now instead of having to walk over here, as soon as you like hit the top of the staircase and turn, it'll have already lowered or be in the process of lowering. So that's the thing that I wanted to say before about buttons with obvious effects, is one thing you can do if you have to like block your view when you hit the button is make it so that the thing that is affecting takes long enough with obvious motion or effect or whatever, but takes long enough that you have the time to turn and look around and look for the change before it is done happening. So like, if you have a button that lowers an elevator, if the elevator is like 4 stories tall and will take a while to lower, it will be moving like you'll hit the button, which will start the movement, and then you have plenty of time to turn all the way around and notice the movement to say, here's the thing that has changed. This is moving now. And then you can figure out, oh, it's an elevator. It's going to come down, yada, yada. But like a thing going from not moving to now moving is an obvious enough change to that it's okay to not see it while the button is happening. The pedestal that I have here is so short and lowers so fast that like in the time it takes to turn 90 degrees to see it, it would already be done. So you would just hear it and like, yes, okay, short, obvious, it would take the key from out of range to in range. And also, who cares if you saw it? Suddenly now the key is in range, you know what to do and you'll go on. It'll just be like, but like it would leave you with that like, what was that button for exactly? And just like, here's my easy way of not leaving that weird lingering. It's just saying like, it's not a button. You just walk over it. It's done. It's okay that you don't notice it. I'll just give it to you. This one I'm okay giving you. This is not a puzzle. This is just, I had to raise it. I'll lower it for you as well. I got this for you, play it. Don't worry about it. let me join these so I can go ahead and blow away these as well. And again, check your textures that they're all fine. They're all fine. Yes, so now we'll hit the top of the staircase, do that, do that, do that. Good. I'm feeling okay with all of this so far. Do I want to do anything about that chain gunner, or do we want to leave him be? I don't know. Maybe I'll leave him be, because I kind of like that pressure to make you go in here. Doesn't let you hide by that corner. Basically, it makes you run here, and then he wakes up, and if you react quick enough to start dealing with him, you'll wake the rest of them up, making it your fault, which I think is fun. It's like, they were asleep, it's your fault they all woke up. And then you end up running and sort of taking cover from here, which isn't bad. I could make that another problem by putting, like, you know what? I'm mean. Let's, here's the thing you need to know about me. I'm mean. Let's put one dude back here. We'll make him, we'll do like a regular zombie. So he is like the least threatening threat of everything you were just dealing with. But just that last little, a gag that, like, the gag is like, no, you're still danger. But it is the softest danger, which is why it's okay to make this the gag, because it's just like I'm not actually, I'm not actually like chasing you into the bigger ambush. I'm just like, I'm still watching you. This man is gags. This man's I has put here, him gags. Oh, I love mechanical gags. Oh, they're so good. Oh my god. Like the incredible. This is annoying me. This is not. This is a line. This is a vertex you will never see in the course of playing this map, but it did not bend enough to be worth it in my view. So I needed to. This is where, like, I don't know if I have, like, sort of certifiable, pronounceable. What's the thing that a doctor does? Diagnose. I don't know if I have diagnosable OCD, but little things like that come out. I like either flat lines or completely broken lines, or, make them round, or make sure that the circles end. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it is what it is. All right, so if you get that secret, you'll get more shotgun shells. You'll deal with him. You'll do this. You'll do that. I'm trying to do gags. I'm not trying to be mean. So what I'll also do is I will put a little one. I wish I knew specifically how much damage their shots did, because if you do get surprised enough and actually take damage, 2, 3, 4. You think they deal more than 5 damage? If you take a shot, there you go. I've given it back to you. That is because I'm only doing it for the gags. I shall give it back. Fine. That's fine. Okay. I mean, I'm still taking away ammo from you because you have to I put the stim pack all the way back there, so you can't just, I mean, again, he's small, so even non-stim packed melee, if you really feel the need to reserve ammo, that might not be a bad thing. Or maybe you're crazy and you took this guy out with a pistol, even though, at this range, he's not gonna melt you as fast as he could. If he were, say, like, half as far away, then he would melt you faster than you could melt him with a pistol. From over here, let's see, if you got furthest away so he had most spread, you could probably get him with the pistol, giving up probably still more damage than it's worth, but you could do it. And then you would go up and get his chain gun, and even then, if you find the secret, fall down in there and get the shotgun shells, which wouldn't help you till you have the shotgun. And then, but having that chain gun would kind of trivialize all of this, so that's a trade-off the player can make. I have an intended path, but I will account for other paths that are kind of fine. None of that seems to completely break it, so we'll leave it. So we'll leave it. So we'll leave it. So we'll leave it. What if I put that floor in here? The wood on the floor was clashing too much with the wood of the pews, and it didn't make it stand out. This is still keeping in the color scheme, but now it is the pews stand out. It's not just a mess of wood. It is discrete textures. That's better. Little changes. Sometimes little changes matter. Little changes can make big effects on visual clarity. So I'll make little changes. I'm happy to make little changes. Then we have here. All right, then we have this matrix zone wall over here. And what are we doing with this? I already know what I'm doing with this. We need to put a red door. So let's put a red door. Nope, not you. All right, lines. Doors like 128. But we'll make that the doorway. Right, and then flip these normals. Yeah, my door's up there for now. Right, because of the way I do it, I need to separate those. And then I want to rumble. Let's make these little pillars. Right, and then actually I like the idea that, here, let's take this, bring that in. No. Bring that out. Bring it out from like over here. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna bring this out. Here, I actually want these to be solid. Yeah, you delete the inside, which makes it solid. There, now we have two big pillars. That's what I'm looking for. And then let's add some lines, just sort of over here, right? And then let's bring this in here for the sake of here. This actually doesn't matter at all what it is, so I should simplify it where I can. There, that'll be straight corner. That'll be fine, because actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure this is its own zone, and then ceiling, floor will did I just brightness 176, brightness, there we go. Hotkeys are a hell of a drug. Let's lower this a bit, and then what is our texture over here? Paint these in, good. And I want to do it sort of the same thing on this side, where we can take, just sort of loop this in over here. Bring this in, we'll touch there, and then this can be square, because actually what we're going to do is drop this, paint this, paint this. So, okay. The thing that I might consider before is that because of how shallow and short these are, you need to get like this close to realize that that is sort of like void floor. But what I'm going to do later is I'm going to make this whole wall skybox as well, so you'll see nothing but skybox out there. I'm just not dealing with that at the moment because I find turning walls into skybox is easiest to do. Oh yeah, then why have I done this? Okay. Also, I decided before I want to do this because we're going from this very square city into this more rounded natural nature zone. So the portal that we got here through, I'll make that match the square industrial style of what we just came out of. You know what? What if I made it different? What if I just keep making changes? Change of fools. Right? Because then I can create some visual religiosity. Right? Because then we'll put these here, and then you see like the industrial door, but on the square thing, and then so this is also sort of the gimmick, right? So this wall is going to end up being pure skybox, just sort of this urban pillar that takes us from here's all skybox, here is full in city. So it's going to have that sort of non-Euclidean portaling space trickery or whatever. Pure visual trickery. I'm not actually teleporting anybody this time around. But it does mean that I am actually limited on how far back that can go because of the other space, and I do need to keep some space here in order to make the walls skybox. So I actually really can't. Well, okay, here's what I can do is I can take... Let me tell you about my friend Whip Select. Here, I want all of this, this, because these are the ones I want to make longer. Oh, so actually I don't want any of these because I want those to stay in place. Okay, hang on. This, and then all of this is what I want to move. Right? So, yes, that's kind of what I'm looking for. Just far enough that you get a better sense of the square on this sidewall here. That's really all I'm looking for. And Shift R to reset, A to align, and yeah, I can live with that. That I can live with. Okay. So I've made this hallway a little longer. Enough that I need to care? No, I don't think so. Do I want to do something interesting to this corner? No, you get this notch in the sort of 1 point perspective of it, letting you know that there is a path there. Here, that's one of the little things that people don't recognize that they notice that's actually giving them information. Because if this was just like a pure straight hallway, you would assume the 1 point perspective railroad track effect of two lines going up into the distance and meeting at a single point, except then because of the back wall, it cuts off and they'll end some point apart. But the fact that we have, but basically because this chunk is missing from the symmetry to this side, that says, oh, it goes off that way. So even though we're just looking at like a straight hallway here, that's the little thing you need to tell you. So as long as we have that, I don't need anything else. I can move on to another piece. I can move on to another piece. I can move on to another piece. I should move on to another piece. Let's move on to another piece. Here's something I want to do. I'll deal with this in a minute. Don't know what I'm going to put there yet. It's fine. I do want to say, let's make these zones of their own. Because here, let's just put a non-skybox texture up here. And then we'll look at all of these and say, hey, you should come down here. You should come down here. Yeah, that's ominous. That's ominous enough. Let's put this on the back side. I want you to come down here more. Actually, y'all, I want you to come down here more. 1, 2, 3, 4, just so we know, and then bring the whole thing down to like door height Okay. This feels more like door height. And then. All right, let's talk about texture, ceiling. Once I have this, we can walk under and be like, yeah, make these all the same. For now, I'll do these. I do a lot of for now, get the shape sort of blocked out, and then we'll deal with making them actually whatever. Door. Let's have big door. Big door 2. Right? So I made it 128 wide because just from repetition, I know that's how wide this door texture is, so it won't repeat or cut off weird. It'll just look like how we expect that door to look. Thank you. I had a snack delivery. The floor of the door. Nope, the ceiling of the door. Other weird bits here on the side. Door track. And then we want to unpeg it because... So... what's the way to explain this? Basically, by default, the way that it sort of like applies the wall texture to a wall is relative to the ceiling of that room, right? So if your ceiling's here, it says I'll start drawing it here. But what that means is if you do something that makes the ceiling move, let's say make that ceiling the bottom of a door, and so it will go up and down, it'll lift the sidewall texture with it, which on a door may look really weird. Maybe what you want. You have that option. So there is a toggle to say, hey, actually this one, instead of pinning it to the ceiling, pin it to the floor. So that way when the ceiling goes up and down, the wall will stay. But then if you did something that, let's say, move the floor, then the wall would go up and down with the floor. But this door moves the ceiling and not the floor, so we want to pin it to the floor, so that way the walls of the door will stay in place as the door moves up and down in it. Little details that you don't always need to care about, but I'm here for it, so I shall try and pay attention to it. I've decided I want this to come down more to be even with that. Now the textures already line up. Little things that, again, probably only I care about. Here's how I'm going to do this next bit, though. I'm going to raise the resolution. Gonna pop one here and pull this in. Pop one here. Not that. Pull it. Yeah, pull that in. So now I have this little I have these little notches over here. And these are where I will put door lights. Do I want to put them sideways or do I want to put them flat? Or do I want to put them both? I want to put them flat. All right, and then we'll just put this back and we'll put this back and it's fine. No, this is yeah, like that. Okay. So now we have what I was talking about before, where when we're standing here, we see our split path, red door over there, you can clearly see the red lines, which from knowing Doom, we know means that that is a locked door that requires a red key, which we've already seen. So we have our sort of consistent mental mapping of the progression. But it still feels like there's a path over there. So this is where we come down to like the way I'm doing this is I'm definitely doing this like a visual designer, illustrator, whatever. So I'm looking at this and I'm going like, this is fine. Let me center that door in this specific visual gap angle, which kind of just means it's time to grab all of this. Here, let me bring this one too. Let's just kind of slide it over. How far do I need to slide it? Maybe there? Maybe there. So get rid of this. Don't get rid of that one. That's a load-bearing vertex. Interesting. You really gonna do me like that? Fine, I'll go kind of like this. How does that look to you? There we go. They're centered. If I wanted it to be bigger, I could either make the door itself bigger, I could bring it closer, I could bring it closer, I could bring it closer. Hang on. See, and this is the part where I kind of just start futzing. Ooh, no. You see that sort of crossover there in the top right? And we want to avoid that. Ooh, no, that's still fine. That's still fine. I do want to bring it closer. How's that? Yeah, now I need to bring it to the left, like just a scooch, just a scunch. Yeah, there. So we get the between it. It stands there, but we see it. I have horribly mangled these corners. So again, just for the sake of I like clean corners, Skyrim clean corners mod. Let me just line these back up. Again, it's supposed to be an organic corner, so I don't like it being too straight or evenly distributed. So we'll do kind of like that. And then that wraps around. That looks pretty natural. Here's a corner you shouldn't go into. Which, again, the thing that I was saying, because we don't want to give them things that look like paths, let's just put a barricade. No, I like putting an evil eye where there's a... I like putting in an evil eye to say, like, hey, I see you exploring everything. That's not what I'm here to do now, so let's just put a tall pillar. Let's put 2 tall pillars to make sure that it's impassable. And there you go. So from here... It's barely visible. It's just some noise that says, hey, don't actually go this way. This, you can see there is no way to go. This guy just hanging out right here. Good. Let's make this door work. How do we make a door work? Easy. We look at both sides of the door. We give them a new tag because this is a new mechanism. We give it a number related to door repeatable, red key, open, wait, closed. Okay, CS, we tag the sector, new tag, and then we go back down one because we just want the last tag used. And then we set the ceiling height to the same as the floor height so it touches the ground, which is also how I tell myself that I have finished sort of setting up the mechanisms to that door, and there we go. Can I raise this? Yeah, how about I just do that? Actually, so what I can do there is say... sector this and sector this join, and then it can do the same over here. Sector this join. Did I do that wrong? Did I do it bad right there? Oh, hey, there's something going on over here. All right, so I need this floor. Put this floor here. There we go. Now we have a working key door, and you see how fast this goes. How long have we been here? We've been doing this. All right, just about an hour now. I don't know how much y'all are willing to stick around for of me just talking about building doors and whatnot. Because the other thing is, like, this does take, I find that the sort of like design choices and considerations are pretty interesting, but then the actual work of let's build it, it gets kind of monotonous. Like I said, for me, it usually ends up being like a music or a podcast activity, and just being like, we're just gonna work it out, just gonna just have a go of it. And then I want to put this here, and then I forget that I'm talking on stream, and I just kind of get into my head zone about placing vertices. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So what I've just done there is I've created this zone around the door where I can pull the ceiling down. I can pull the ceiling down to there. And what that's going to do is... So again, because these pillars are sort of external walls, because they're hollow inside, however it helps you to think about it, I kind of like thinking about I'm carving holes into cheese, whatever. The only way to control their height is to control the height of the ceiling of the inside room, which is the side that we're on. Or do I take it back? I don't need to do that. No, this is a thing I need to remember that I can do more often. I'm going to do it this way. I think this way is fine. If it gets weird, there is another way to do it, where basically instead of making them hollow, we make them floors that we lift, and then they're open up top, because then the ceiling can stay up where the ceiling already was. The trick is that at some point it will look the same, and so you have to start asking, like, what is the cleaner, in terms of looking at all of these lines, what is the cleaner way of doing it? Or what is the way that's easier for me, and how much do I care about either? And we have just hit that limit of that latter one. Good. So now we have this door that goes into nothing, and that's cool. And this is a part where we say, like, okay, we've done this door. I cleaned up the issues that I had with those little things. The rest of it, it's enough. And we need to think about what goes behind this door, because as you can see right now, it just kind of ends. And hey, I had an idea. I believe I put it in this clipboard. No, that's that. Nope, can't show that on a Christian stream. No. Yes. No, I can't show that anyway. Gonna go that way. Oh, I was gonna do that, but I did that, so I can just do it. Yeah, no, when I say that, like, to me, this feels a lot like sketching on paper. That's because to like get started with some ideas, I will just go ahead and sketch them on paper. So okay, so what I want to do is let's see which robot's better. Let's see who built this best. I'm just gonna take this and just that went bad. I want to make this its own. Make this its own, because I just want this one in the corner. We'll just blow it away. Because where are we? Because from the inside over here, that doesn't look this. It looks the same, but now we just basically have the opposite side of this doorway, and then we can be all brand new. And I like working from all brand new. Is this the way a toy feels when its batteries run dry? Let's not go there. All right. Yeah, no, let's just get sketching. So what I want is, no, gotta use the correct click. I want sort of this like scoop to the left, but then we'll scoop back over to the right, and we'll have like a little island out here. And then we'll sort of scoop back this way, but actually it's a fork from our original scoop. And I want to have like a hairpin over here to visually block what's up ahead down that path from this zone. And when I have this scoop, I can kind of leave this open and boom. Hey, check it out. We got a zone. Done made a new zone right here. You'll love to see a new zone. So what do we do with this new zone? I know this is kind of the shape that I wanted for it. Let's open this up a little bit. I want it to be not quite so buckled in on itself, a little wider. Good. Hey, we're out here in this zone. I know what you're thinking. Ah, this zone is inside. Everything's inside. That's a secret. So I want this to sort of buckle out on itself. And then this will be a let's go like this and just trace these back. And you can't really just like copy zone properties. But I do want to say, hey, this sort of piece that we hollowed out, let's actually just raise it. And then fill it with this greenish thing that I'm using to be Hujima what's-its bushes. And I want to do the same kind of thing over here where I'll it hits in the no, so if it's going to hit like that, I want it to bound out like this. Yes, that makes it read like the zone between the bushes and the metal pillar are clashing. Let's bring this back up, and we do want this to be open sky. Okay, getting there, getting there. Is that okay? All right, so here's a cool secret. You can see that this is now a zone where the ceiling and the floor touch. That's why the wall is split like this. Oh, is that how you do interesting split level wall textures? Interesting, interesting, interesting. Only to me. Here, we lift that up, and now we do that. And now to make it match my bushes from over here, I give it this sort of top layer, which, again, you kind of don't see it, but I care. How tall is it? It's half that tall. No, it's like 3 tall? That looks to me like it's 3 tall. No, that's 4 tall. Wow, okay. Well, this one's 3 tall because that's matched enough. All right, same green from the top, and boom, now they're bushes. Now I know what you're saying. Hey, how come I drew so much of the back of the bush when it's not there? And I go, aha, it's time for another new zone. DooM mapping is about making zones. And so this is going to be like the last empty sky zone. So it will have skybox walls eventually. So for now, I can just do it like this. Actually, I want it to go over here, and then it's going to collide into a bush on this side. I'm not going to follow these all back. I'll cut across there. Because what that's going to do is that's actually going to split my zones here. Thinking ahead, I intend to split these zones anyway. Let's just do that real roughly right now, and then I will make them super clean later. Make sure they're all separate. Okay, okay, okay. Because the vague thought here is this will staircase up a little bit to the island over there. See, these are rough shapes, but this is not the visual that I want. I definitely want you to be able to see the left side of that staircase. So, again, I could deal with this all later, but I want to kind of just get it going now. Do like this little like thing here. See, actually, I feel like this whole deal over here is too close. So let's do it kind of like this. No, so we want this vertex to be the furthest one out, because if that's the inflection point of that bush, then you won't notice that you're not seeing the back side of it over here somewhere when it comes to this, the view from the island on the outside, yada yada. Lobster. Also, looking at this, as this is about, here, stop pushing me through. I want it to be further back. Again, let's line these up on a coarser grid. And let's just stretch this. I'm going to put a vertex here just because. And then this will be a little more okay to stretch. Yeah, no, because I think we want to be able to see this, and then this sort of scoop of stairs. I took my scoop for a stairs. Blah. Hey, did you know that in their song Boat of Car, They Might Be Giants actually invented the concept of rabbits? I thought this was very interesting when I made it up just now. Okay, except now, of course, what I've done here is I've created a new step. So we have to raise them all up one more step, which actually puts this one 5 up, which is not a power of 2, which is quite unfortunate. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we'll just drop it extra much. So now that's even. Again, I'm probably the only one who cares this much about it, but it's my map, so I will put the work into that. That's how it goes. Now we look at this and we say, here, 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 here. I want to borrow this one because this is the texture that I'm using pretty much solely to remind myself here that these are the walls that I need to make transparent later. Good. I feel like these don't turn harshly enough, so let me just again. So now this goes back into like what I have on my papers over there, which I sadly could not show directly to the camera because I forgot about some things, other things that I had put on it. Basically like concept art for what I was starting to have in mind for this level, you know? You know what? Let's do that. And then sector this one to this one, join in that order. L, delete that, and we'll give it, we'll let that like scoop back in a weird way. Will that look all right? I don't want to use that one. I want to use, again, consistency in art helps. I want to use this one that I've been using over here pretty much all along. And if I do that, okay. Is there a dead wall back here somewhere? Or, yeah. Then also we'll see that along these steps. I could put something else there, but also is that how much higher I want that to go. Shoot, you know what? It is, but I want the steps to be thicker. Like that? that first step to be thicker? That last step to be thicker? Because that's sort of like the what can make it look natural, right? Is when it is not perfectly aligned. Is when there's some inconsistency to the distribution. These are words I've heard. That's the name of my new comedy album. Just, these are words I've heard. Oh, telephone. A thing I wish I had not heard. I'm hungry. You hungry? So, okay, here's the weird part about doing something like this on stream. Normally, this is very much like a... This is not one of my more meditative activities, I'll be honest. Here, I do want to make that one touch, because then this and that will match, because that'll look like that. Kind of. Oh, or do I make it actually touch? I could make that actually touch there. I'll leave it like this for now. I'll mess with that later. So like normally I'll be doing this, I'll be watching a show, I'll be eating a sandwich, I'll be having snacks, I'll be, you know, thinking about an email that I gotta write and thinking about if there's any other ways that I could, you know, conceivably put it off for an indefinite, the most indefinite amount of time, let's call it. Hey, listen, I'm putting myself on blast here. I'm working on it. Everybody's a work in progress. It's like I don't really know what to say. See, and this is, and I know I want something up there. I don't know what. Give me like, sure, 160. Why not? Let's see if that's enough. It's not. I'll tell you that right now. It's not. Oops. See, this is where doing that gets weird, but then we hit make on all of them, and then that does that. Put that in the middle. Okay, and then blow away. No, see, something happened there. No, it's because I need to flip these out. Will that make it happy? Yes, that seems to have made it happy, right? Okay, so now we have that. But the other trick is we have these. And if I bring those down like that much, get like a poor man's Tory gate or something. Do I want to make it taller than this? Okay. Or is that enough? Or, no, I want to raise up this. I want to put it is a very naturally raised island, so I want to give it sort of a ledge here. A ridge? A ridge here. A rigid ledge. No, not ridge. Well, I mean, you want a rigid ledge, especially if you're going to be walking on it, but... Right, because now we take this and these and the ceiling bits and the ceiling bit up here, and we can just raise that up one more, right? Does that look ominous enough? Okay, what if also I want these and I want it to be at an angle, right? Not a lot, just enough to say, hey, it'll add some. There you go, because now, so okay, again, you walk through the door and you see the sort of edge on it. Oh, but so you get that twist to it. You get the depth of it by having that little tiny bit of twist on it. That's what you want. But I want to be able to see the left edge of the island itself. So I could move. How's our view here? We go through. Do I want to move the entire island left? A little bit left. So give me all of these-ish, and we'll just kind of Scooch. Does that look good? That's pretty centered. I actually want less than that. I do want it offset. That's pretty good. And then I need to move these bushes over more, you know? Just gotta keep moving the bushes, boss. Here, definitely. I think these are my real troublemakers. There we go. You come through the door. Oh, so close. I could move the island like one more. See, I could do that, but stretch it out a little bit. Just stretch it a little bit. See, so now I've kind of totally lost my like clean swoop that I originally sketched. But actually, you know what? I could bring it back if I just do that, and then I can do this out here. That's about all I wanted out of it. Oh, and they're perfect. It's pretty much centered. It's twisted, so you get that sense of depth. Bush on the left side, bush over there on the right side, but you can see a lot of skybox behind it. And then, so actually what I want is I want to bring this back in because I want you to sort of be able to see that again. So you come in here and you turn and you get to see again. So just like I was doing earlier, I give you a corner that you can see that there's a path going around, but you don't know what's around it. So we get this obvious thing right here, and I know exactly what I'm putting up there. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yep. Oh, I just decided and I'm so happy about it. Oh boy. Good. Is this enough? Right. Let's go build this accoutrement first. So we're going to do that, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Is that enough? So, because on the front here, I want to put, and this ain't going to be great for y'all, because this is just me just scanning textures for a little bit. Oh, you know what? This one that I didn't use before. Can I get this to line up where I want it? Yeah, kind of. Ooh. Actually, I could probably make this thinner then, even. Let's go to, like, 3. Ooh, yeah. Yes. That's what I wanted, more or less. So what I'll actually do is I'll let that wrap all the way around. No. Yeah. I want it to stand out more. I want it to be more like a marble or a stone. Hey, there's this whole category called marble. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Ooh, look at that. Oh, look at my roaring friend. Yes. Okay, this is what I'm looking for. Where's the... So I need to find the one that matches that. Which is maybe this one? That ain't bad. And now we need the marble floor to make them all look like they're the same, right? So now we have a little marble thing. Ooh, so I know like the classic Torii gate is red, but follow me here. What if mine was green marble just because that's the texture I already have selected? All right. So we want to unpin these ceilings so that they sort of fit. Will that be too much? Too little? Again, walk back from over here, and you look and you see that thing, and you're like, damn, that's a thing. the space under the gate to be slightly darker because it's casting a shadow, and that also makes those side walls darker. So again, you can tell the difference between the two walls, which helps emphasize the fact that you are seeing the side wall, which emphasizes that this structure has a depth to it, right? Okay. And what other options we got though? Let's the big metal one. Oh, the big metal one. It's a metal that I'm already using. It's already an aspect of the map in a lot of ways. Yeah, that ain't bad. It does look like a pi symbol, maybe more than the Torii gate. Here's what we're going to do. I know I'm going to want to do this, but let's put everything back on the grid for now. Yeah, because we said 128, and then squares, and then it's just sort of more sort of Kai's power goo it. Because if I take these and squish them in, that looks more like a pi symbol. What if I just keep? But you see, if I go like that, thank you for coming to the stream. I hope you enjoyed listening to me have thought processes. Perhaps one day you will get to play the rest of this level for yourself. That's really on my end to see if that becomes a reality or not, isn't it? Interesting. Oh, I could do that, because if you go to computer, is this one texture that's just blue? It's just blue. It's just, I could just make, what if, GIF voice, what if it was blue? I don't like the blue either. No, because I feel like it should be something that it needs to. The gray will stand out from the skybox. You know, I'm going to leave it at this for now. It'll stand out. It'll be enough. It'll be whatever. It'll be enough, I guess is what I'm saying. When all said and done, it will be enough. I'm going to lift that up, and this is going to be side-walled. And I'm going to angle these. Yeah, and we're going to have that, and we're going to just take this, copy, paste, and put this over here. Even Stevens, kind of like this. What if I move all of these back so they're almost under it, but not quite? Good. And now take all of this and give it that little twist, little twisteroonie that I wanted all along. And we'll put that here. And now we do that, and we have our twist. And there it is. And now I need to offset these again because they're not even in terms of the walking in visual. That's better. I really don't want it to block the side walls of that. And I don't think it does now. Now, I'm going to just take this, and this is going to be the dang old BFG, because it's DooM, and I'm putting a temple to the BFG, so that makes sense. And of course, these little ones will have, or like little offering nooks, where I will put battery packs. And now look at it. I want to take this whole zone and raise it up a little bit. Because again, now we walk in and what we see is a freaking shrine to the BFG framed in skybox. You have to walk up to it, to a little floating island. You can see the edges. You know it's a little step-based flowing island. Floating island. That's pretty good. That's pretty good right there. I'm pretty happy with all of this. See, because I gotta manually adjust these so that way they fit with the line down there. It's fine. I can do that. I can select multiple to do them all at once. That looks better. Hey, I should save this map since I've been working on it for like over an hour. There we go. Okay. So then we'll come over here. We'll come up there. Do I need this to be anything else? I think I can let this now come in and be a scoop this way, in sort of into the hairpin over here. A hairpin, you know, like it's Mount Akina. For all of my anime heads out there, what's up? You know who you are, BB? I'm hungry. Maybe that's why I'm wacky. I don't know if other people would use the term wacky, but it's the term I used. Listen, folks, it's Thursday. It's not, it's Wednesday. That's a gag, quote unquote. Here we go. This is where I'm going to do it. Okay. Hey, remember when I took this line out here? I'm going to put this line back here and make sure that's new, because that's going to be down 1. That's going to be down 2. There's our little bit of... There's our little bit of offset. Right? Right. Good. And it'll go like there. And it'll go like here. Yes. Okay. That's a sort of breakup. That breaks up the symmetry and the cleanness of it. That makes it look like a natural sort of dirt pat up to this thing. Good. That's what I want. Also, what I want is, like I have decided right here, just sort of put that there. And similarly, we'll put one here. And then this and this, we're going to bring up like this high, give it this floor, give it this side wall. I'm going to leave that alone. That's kind of a mess, but I'm going to leave it alone because the bush goes past the ground. Like, I could bring it out. You know, if I clean it up, I'll clean it up later. I don't care right now. Good. Yes. So I am going to turn this patch sort of only up around to here. I'm going to turn this into a bush like this one. So I can say, what's the height on this? Is 128. So I'll bring this up to 128. Make it match. I know I need a thing in here, which this time around I brought up 3 notches. Ooh, that was an experience for me. Okay, so now when we come through and we got that bush that causes the sort of hairpin effect. And that's going to be weird because we can kind of see that. Well, so also here's the thing that I'm looking at, right? Is I want this bush to be a pillar because when we come around behind it, this is going to be like an open staircase up, which I can show by just starting to draw it. It's going to be like a sweeping staircase up this way, ending in a nice, clean, and easy to work with straight line over here. But the trick about it is that I'm going to put a separate skybox plane here so that way you stand here and you see the little shrine, but then when you create this hairpin, you go back to seeing the skybox, but you don't see the shrine. So it's a little bit of smoke and mirrors to make it seem like mystical and temporal and a bit more ethereal. Because I like that kind of junk. Now I'm going to sneeze. Is that what's going to happen? I don't know. Maybe. They do look a bit like lion toilets. Is that bad, though? How do we feel about a lion toilet? If I said I wasn't at least a little bit into it, then I'd be lying. I don't know how much longer I can keep this up, y'all. Oh. Okay, and then I have this whole zone over here, which is going to be... Here's what I'm going to do. So, this is the pillar, yeah? Yeah, okay. And then I want this to... That one not to be, but I am going to... pull this out, and this is going to be like a nice smooth scoop. And then what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to let this come up and ride, and I'll make it stairs eventually. But for now, the idea is that I'm going to bring this up. Is that my 128? That's my 128. So that should match the bushes over here. Yes. And nope. There we go. But then also, nope. So I'm going to make that bushes up there. I can darken the... Do I want to darken that or do I want to lighten it? No, I want to... So, okay. It's sort of about what would it be and sort of about what do I want it to be. So, because it is closer to the sky, it is theoretically less obstructed by... less even possibly obstructed by anything, so therefore it would be lit brighter by the sun. But what I actually want to convey is that it is further back, like it is sort of like a back plane. It is further away. It is... When you want to like visually push things backwards, you make them darker. So even though it's higher and less obstructed, I'm actually going to make it darker. You won't notice the ceiling is darker because it'll be skybox and not have any light. Actually, you know what? I'm going to bring that up taller to make it feel... to specifically make that a higher... Can I do this here? Could do this here. I don't think I do it over here, although maybe I should. Well, I've done it. You know when, whoops, welp, I've done it? Just a little bit, just enough, you know what I'm saying? Just a little snuff of it right there. And then let that one still be the darker one to push it back. So like I could even I add a mid-tier. I don't feel like doing that right now just because I'm tired and I'm still roughing. But we do this right, and I want to clear this out is what I want to do. So we do that by, I'm a fix, nope. Okay, vertice, add one. No, yes, okay. Pull this over here. No, yeah, no, yes. Now make this big thing and go over here, and it is going to hit new bushes up here. So I'll sort of start sketching the shape of this bush just like that and close it. And now, what am I looking at? Yes. So borrow this again to remind myself what these are going to be. This is gonna be my down here, my ground drop, which means this is gonna be my sky. And again, we can't quite see it here, but what will jump out when it actually renders is the rounded edge, which will also staircase up, but the rounded edge of the path will contrast against the consistent skybox in the background, and you'll get that swooping up thing, which actually means I could stretch this out and use this as an opportunity to just sort of decorate with some geometry. I said a word before, I was like, oh, I need to go talk to a geometrist. And I don't know what that is, but whatever it is, I'm already conceptually in love with it. Geometrist. If I ever really need to pitch myself as a level designer on my resume or something, I'm going to say, oh yes, known geometrist. Okay, and then see just a little bit, but we're gonna get that same thing. We're gonna see the ground here. We're gonna get this sense of they're more floating islands. I don't think we'll ever really be up here to see that, but might as well do the work, texture it. These are both going to be separate skybox planes eventually, to hide the island on the hairpin turnaround, because that's just a detail. It's just a detail I want to put, is that the island disappears, and that's part of why I want it framed so strongly here, is so that way it'll instantly imprint as a landmark, and then when you go over here and that landmark, you are forced to look at where it was and it's gone, that should hopefully sort of wake you up to it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so technically, by the way, while I'm here, I did set this back wall to require the key card as well. So I'm going to do my due diligence and mark the backside with the key lights as well, because it's consistency. Because you could set doors that are sort of unrestricted use on one side and key use on the other side. You could absolutely do that, but I have not done this here. I have restricted use on both sides, so I will mark them as such. I wish the scene that I am painting to actively reflect, or accurately rather reflect, the nature of the scene, the mechanics of the scene. It is sort of my job as the architect to reflect the invisible in a sense, hold a mirror up to something and let you know what it shows, make sure that it shows something. Let's move this down here a little bit. Yeah, See, this is just moving things around until they look right enough. That's something for sure. Oh, right, and then I just sort of ended it for now. Even though I want to say this is going to be... let's just sort of dop, 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 and then I'll put a room. And then once again, just sort of dop, 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 dop it. And we'll connect here because this is the new room that we've carved out of the ether. There, and now there's a place and it'll go and it'll be. And I think what I'm actually going to have to do is connect this to it. I'm going to say here, 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 and this one. I don't know what those are going to be, but I don't believe those are all going to be bushes. I can make them bushes later if I need to. Here, what happened here? Right, this needs to go up and match this. What I need to do is this and this are going to join. This and this are going to join, and then I can delete this, and then that fix is already done. Yes, so now it comes up and it sort of wraps, and you get that sort of tiered, super tall bush, tall to the ceiling bush over there. Good, 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 good. All right, we've hit here just about 2 hours. Let me... How about let me do this staircase, right? I need to decorate these a little more. I'd love to put a tree on a floating isle gray tree. Floating skull rock. Ooh, that would be cool. Stalagmite. Oh, that'd be cool. Where's the other tree? Large brown tree. That's the one I want. And then, yeah, over here, let me put a stalagmite. There we go. If I do it like that, that looks a little better. Let's offset this because nature abhors symmetry. All right, just a little bit of that. So we'll come around, we'll see that, and then let me just put the staircase this a little bit, and then we'll call it there. I can work on this more in my off time, but that sort of gives you an idea of the process if you want to do some of this yourself, or when I do eventually, you know, call this whole set done and release it in some sort of available playable form, this video can be considered part of a behind the scenes commentary track for a WAD. Yo, WAD commentary tracks. That's what this whole video series is. Never mind. I was like, oh, that's such a great idea. That's what I'm doing. Oh, if I brought in authors of the WADs to talk about it, ooh, that's good. Then I'd have to do well, then we get into scheduling multiple people, and you have to have interviews, and you got to hope that, you know, people are all right and can deal with being on camera and answering questions and doing what have you, and like, not to just assume that, you know, people are gonna have trouble with that straight away, but it is just like, honestly, it's just more consideration than I usually put into this as a series. It's not necessarily what this is about. I'm not, like, personally, I'm not somebody who like is a fan of the people behind a thing. I'm usually a fan of the thing, and I have fun by doing my own analysis of it, not learning what the background task of it was. Background task, background something. I'm starting to lose what I'm saying here. I think that's why I'm going to call it quits soon. But let's... Ooh, do we want to put our first... We want to put our first step over here, actually. So let's put, like, here. I want to put it just within sort of... Just within the reach of knowledge of the the entryway view, I guess is what I'll call it here. You know what? I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be like this. Boom, I decided. I made an executive decision. And I'm Cajun now. I don't know anything about Cajun anything. I don't know what that means. I'm uncultured, I'm sorry. Am I interested to learn? Yeah, I wouldn't say no to learning some things about that. I can't promise my attention span will stay that long, but I'm into learning about it. I'm happy to know it as more than just like a random thing that I'm interested to know more about it than just being like an Adam Sandler bit that I half remember from Saturday Night Live or something. One or two. We're going to put one there. We're going to put one there. Let's see how it looks if we just do ones up all the way. Does that look staircased enough? If we sit here and follow it. Oh yeah, that's kind of enough. Oh, that even starts to hide it. So now because I did that and I changed the like viewable angle, I need to push these back. And then I need to push the things back with them because they are tied to the position in space, not the actual geometry. And now we see our angle over here. And I do want to push that back more because of, you know, the things, the trouble. Yeah, this one can go back a little bit more too. Yeah. Okay, because now we start to see it, and then we see they're floating, and then we continue around, and eventually I'm gonna have to go back and. So okay, when we talk about like falling off ledges like this, you have two options. A, you fall off a ledge, and then like you turn around, and it turns out one of these is actually secretly a lift, and there's like a button out here, and it'll come down, let you get on, and pick you back up to the path. Or B, you make these edges solid, and you just can't fall off the darn thing, and that's. I'm going to call that easier because it requires like less mechanism, or it is a sort of like a more, it is a more stoic mechanism. That's a hell of a phrase my brain decided to go with. I like it. I'm confused by where it came from, but all right. Stoic mechanism. Ooh, oh, that concept has tickled me now. Okay, interesting. Words. I had words. I'm losing them quickly. And for now, let's just put I want to put a dude there just to finish it on something, and just because we're standing here. I will not have that dude be there in the final version when I'm done with this map. But for the sake of having something solid to finish on. Well, no, actually, for the sake of having something solid to finish on, what I do is I put 2, and the other one goes down here. And then nope, I dragged him instead of adding a new one. And here, and then when you walk in and they pincer you because you don't see him here, so you walk in and get pincered, and then I'll call that the end of the stream. But we have this right here. This, we need to line these up just real quick. Just let that all figure itself out. This seems to look okay. Does that need to be wider? Is that actually what would make me feel better? No, because I've already turned it and I'm afraid to touch it now. I've already turned it and I'm afraid to touch it now. Just believe the things I say when I say them. I should believe myself when I say things, right? I believe that to be a form of survival instinct. Yeah, all right. Red key. Okay, so we'll make sure that the red key door works. We'll come through here. We'll get that. Try not to fall off. We'll check out this. That, I don't know what that all is going to be. No, that is going to, the bush will wrap around and we won't see the edge of the skybox. It'll sort of, here, it'll be essentially like this in the end. So we won't see it. It'll be over there. It'd be like, oh, it wraps around and we just don't see it. Yeah, something like that. There. Yeah, okay, I can buy that. Because then again, we're going to come in here and I think this is going to be my plan is this is actually going to be the biggest area of the map. Like this might be the size of these last two. Wow, we did not add all of that much to this thing. Although I'm pretty happy with what we did add. It's close enough to my original idea that it's like, yeah, that's not exactly what I had in mind, but what I had in mind was vague. So as far as something that is like created and has been decided on, it totally that works. But I want this to be like a bigger temple area, multiple zones, staircases, much more man-made. I can go and sketch that on paper like when I can't sleep now, and then I'll again same thing like this. You just small. You start with small ideas. You think about like, okay, from the player experience, what do I need to let them see in terms of like being able to figure out like the path of this level and where do I want to like force them to approach certain encounters from, so that way I can control their experience in that encounter and yada yada yada, things like that. It doesn't need to be that, but I must. Okay, what is this? That's just how the texture is working out. Okay. Cool. So we have some of these missing textures up here, but the way the skyboxes work, you want that, I think, because depending on how the engine you're using works, sometimes having a texture up there will sort of like overwrite it and cause it to here, actually I want to clean these up right now. These do not need to be this elaborate. Is elaborate the word? Maybe. That one kind of needs to be. Does not need to be this elaborate. Also telephone. I will let it mirror that. Here, I want to do similar kind of thing here. Because while I'm doing this, for posterity's sake, let me actually skybox this first room just so that I can sort of show off the trick to it, I guess. I would hope don't use me as a source of tutorial for this, but okay, what did I do over here? This is where I did these, right? Okay, this, right, that's where it connected, so that's where it closes off. Okay, so what we do here, right? Okay. So basically we create a secret room back here. Start here, here, here. Go here, go here. I need to make this part narrower because hiding things, and that's going to go here and go there, and then do the same thing back here, 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 here. All right, now we can do the same thing to both of these, which is you just take the whole thing and you just squish it real good. You just make the ceiling touch the floor, and you make sure that the ceiling is the skybox, because then when you come back, what we're actually looking at here is we're looking at here to show like a visual. What I've done here is I've made this sort of extra, kind of like a dugout, I guess, over here. And the way that the engine works is that when it's sort of like catching an orange in tinfoil, okay? So you have it flat in your hand and you put the orange on it. So now your tinfoil is on the bottom. And then because you're catching it, you sort of like grip around it and the tinfoil wraps up around the sides of it. And that's how the skybox works. So because the skybox texture is on the bottom, if that bottom comes down and you can see the side walls above it, the skybox wraps up around onto it. So even though this says, hey, there's nothing here, it will, this flat on the bottom skybox will wrap up onto it. And so 1, 2, 3 different planes will all just sort of like stitch together and show the same skybox all the way back. And this works even when you bring this all the way down. So now this, we said, is going to like automatically have the skybox on it. So now 1, 2, 3, floor, wall, and ceiling will all 3 be skybox. So you'll just have full wraparound skybox. I'm going to save it. That's assuming I'm remembering this correctly. It's been like a couple of weeks maybe since I've done this. But so now we're looking out here and you can see this like broken upper skybox that we have all around. Now let's just test this out and should be fine. Loading up. Let's see. I need to bring this back. Hello? There we go. Okay. So again, here's our outside, which we remember we did move all of this because we had to stretch this hallway. So this hallway is a little longer. And there you go. We have this full wraparound skybox now because it's floor, upper wall, which touches the floor, and then ceiling, but they all stitch together because of that's just how skybox works in Doom. I'm sure at some point it made sense. Of course, you're not meant to see it all the way to the floor, so it is sort of cycling vertically. There's a button for that. Miscellaneous? Compatibility? Map? Disable, use, no. Doom scripted, enable, no. Rendering. No. It's not an actor, it's not dehacked. It's not in here? I don't know where it is. Somewhere there, I believe there is a thing for stretch skybox. And it wasn't in here? Doesn't matter that much. But so like this is, search. Skybox. Sky render mode. Cap, normal, stretch. Well, I don't know what that actually affected. But so yeah, here we have this sort of repeating, this is I'm gonna make this a mechanical door. I've just left it sort of raised to remind me that it is a door. But for now, so yeah, we have this hallway, then we have this full-on skybox to make the city disappear. You can see I've started with the floating islands over here. This guy is gonna be up here. I'm not gonna deal with him. I'm not gonna deal with him. I'm gonna deal with this guy. He drops a little bit of ammo. Right, he gives you pistol ammo. That's kind, is what I've done there. Oh, hey, they all woke up now. Oh, can he not come off of that front stage? Oh, I might have mistaked and he can't come off of that front stage. Oh no, he's coming. Oh, I'm just gonna... There's also this strategy, just let him come. I do want to be able to get past him. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, start falling down, y'all. Luckily, Berserker packs are also health packs. See? Now that I'm up here, instead of giving up, it instantly changes it. Hi, guy. Really? Oh, right, this window. Oh, you can only get up onto it because the platform is up a little bit. Okay, interesting. Oh, right, we have this whole section to test out. I hear you. You. Alright, so that's blocked off so you don't bother. Here's my evil eye to say, hey, I was afraid of that. It lowers to 8 above the highest floor. That up top position is the highest floor. So it won't go any lower because it says I'm already lower than I intended to be. So I need to change the specific action that is. Which also means we're stuck here. So for the sake of playtesting this level, I got the key. Key door works. Now we come out here. Remember, I did not do these skyboxes, but you still kind of get that floating island sense with the skybox down there. I do really like that. I should make this... either I need to add another, like, rumply sort of layer to it if it's a dirt mound, or I should make it a stone mound to explain why it looks so cleanly stacked. Here's this. That'll make the island disappear. We have new islands over here just a little bit. And so, like, if I wanted to, I could just keep pushing that wall back and keep adding little bits of floating island to just say, like, yeah, no, floating island happens forever. So theoretically, okay, you can... So what I might want to do is I might want to hide those wall lines to make it look on the map as though it is a single space. The other thing that I could do is I could make this one dividing wall that blocks your eye line to the to this one. I could end it in the back, push both back walls back and join them to basically just create one blocking wall, and then put other floating islands behind the temple island, so that eventually you would see those and still not see the temple island. I don't know if I care that much. Certainly not right now. Here's our little staircase, which it is not very staircase, but you feel like you're going up. I might want to increase the step increment of maybe 2 or 3 of these steps just to really raise this section to literally to new heights. And then here are our dudes. Ooh. And then there we go. That's all we have. This, it ends here, and then I'll build a whole new wall here, same way I did this past one. Hey, let me fix that button real quick. Real quick, let me fix-a-rooney the button-a-roo. Here, this one. So I don't want to 8 I mean, I want to 8 above highest floor. The problem is we're already at below the highest floor. So switch one lower floor to lowest floor. Let's give this one more run through. Whoops, y'all can't see it yet. OBS needs to wake up. Thank you. All right. So we go here. I think this looks nice. I might want to push that island out so you could so again, this is like you're like literally like painting a scene to me. It doesn't necessarily look floating because our current pathway blocks it. So maybe I just want to like scoop this in a little bit. Yeah, hang on. See, that's the other thing I love about this, because the way that I do it is I just see one thing and then I keep thinking and I go, let me do one more thing. One more thing. I'm like the Columbo of making Doom maps. I can have just one more thing, ma'am. Just one more thing before I get out of your hair. Let's get rid of that one. Yeah, that'll do for now. So yeah, you can barely see this sort of jut. So what if I just grab these and just jut it? Just have at it. You know what I mean? So yeah, so if we stand here, not quite enough. What if we pull this one in more? Just... There you go. So now when we get out here and we're going to see that, and it's going to be floating like nobody's business when we look at it now. Don't worry about what the secret bottom ones are. So eventually, I don't know where I'm going to do it. So I'm okay spoiling it because I don't have the other half of it written to be spoiled. Basically, I've created these extra little sections to connect to this floating island because my plan is to eventually allow you to go over there. There will be a switch or even just like a walk trigger at some point. I'll make it something maybe easy to hit, maybe hard to hit. Maybe I'll put like a room with 2 pillars, so there's like 3 walkways in it, and if you walk through like the correct one, then it'll trigger this, but it'll be so far across the level you won't hear it. So you just need to like hit all 3 and then go re-explore the level and then come all the way back here to the start, where that's not what I wanted to be there. I will put a power up. What is it? The soul sphere? I love me a soul sphere. Obstacles, grid, this tree, yeah. How's that look? I like the way that looks. I would like it better if we made this a separate section that dropped down a little bit so we can get a sense of verticality on this island itself. Does it need it? No. Do I want it? Yes. Yeah, there we go. Actually, I could probably drop this down more because you can move like up to 2 or 3. Yeah, now it's just floating there. Now there's a tree. Oh yeah, I'm about it. I'm about this. Yeah. Delicious. This is some delicious looking map to me. To me, this is a delicious. You see, and then this is where I get picky because I'm just like specifically like I'm looking at it in terms of like, you know, lines and ratios and just like, okay, where I'm looking, you know, like I do when I'm illustrating, I'm like looking for tangent lines, and I'm just like, okay, what makes it read clear? Where do I want overlapping so you get a sense of depth? Where do you want it to not, you know, collide lines so that way it reads well or what have you? Yeah. Not a big deal. Nobody is really gonna. You're not gonna look back to see that until you come back here to try and find this secret island gap, which I still don't know what will cause that to occur. But now you can see it out there, and if you can see a power up, if you can see something that you can pick up, and this is something you have to do like as a designer, because you don't want to like inadvertently lie. You don't want to like you don't want to lie to the player. It's not fair to just lie to a player. And one of the messages you can send is that if there is a pickup somewhere that the player could pick up, there will be a way for the player to get to that place, you know? And so you have to be careful, because like you may want to decorate with pickups, but if you put a pickup that a player can't pick up, you're lying to them, and that doesn't feel good. Like, it's not an explicit lie, but it is like subverting an assumed agreement kind of thing, and it makes the player feel like they're being lied to, regardless of whether it's technically a lie or not. The player will in some way feel betrayed, as though they were lied to, and you want to avoid that. So like sometimes I have problems with that, because I'll put an enemy in a place that I never intend to be player accessible, but then when you kill them, they drop something, and it's like, whoops, I put a power up there, I put a pickup there, and then the player can't pick it up. So I need to, before I release this, that's something I need to do, is I need to go back through this and be like, is there any, do I ever inadvertently place pickups in a place where they cannot be picked up? Because if that would be like a subversion of agreement or trust or messaging, that I do not wish to do that. That would be by accident. Yeah, you know what? While we're right here, let's this door. If I look at this wall, unpegged lower, so I already fixed that part. So we just need to say these are regular doors on a new tag, and then this is that same tag and shut. Right, and now we're here, and now it's a door, and it will be a door. I love when a door is a door and not a jar. All right. Fix the button, I hope. Decorated this island and changed this, and I'll leave getting out that way. I'm not actually upset by it. It doesn't really allow any interesting sequence breaks. It just kind of is a thing, so it's kind of just fine. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe there's something there I'm not thinking of. That's what playtesting is for. All right, let's do this. One more. As soon as it pops up onto the feed. Okay, so now we come through here. It's a door. The door works. And we come out here, and we're like, oh, dang, there's a power-up out there. How am I supposed to get out to that dang old floating island? It's all floating and stuff. We don't worry about that. We look at this guy, and we say, oh, no. Look at these guys. Oh, no, look at this guy. Done. Oh, it's because I'm shooting at him that wakes them all up. Okay. I'll take it. Okay, he got taken out by the imps over here. We're going to go up here. Stairs fix the keys here. Our misadventure friend over here. There we go. Aha! Okay. So, when a door or a floor or whatever drops, it doesn't put a default wall. So this is normally what those exclamation point textures look like. You get your see-through Hall of Mirrors kind of effect. And it is letting us see through anything. So what I need to do is I need to go back to that map, drop this floor to see those sidewalls, put something there, and then raise the floor back up. Because then when it drops in game, it has a texture assigned and will look right and not like this. Whoops. All right, I gotta go fix one more thing. But now the button works. And the last thing was... Oh no, there was no last thing. The last thing was when you open this and come through here, now you see the bottom of that floating island, letting you know that it is actually floating. You have to come all over here to see that it's completely disconnected from the back, but you get the floating island effect, which is really all I wanted to make sure was seen. Boy, even out here the bushes touch the ground, huh? Maybe I should put like a thin ring of dirt around the bottom. If I do, I'll do that later. That's polishing. That's like after like first you put all the rough shapes, then you make them then you make the visuals and the sight lines and all of that all work. Then you do all of the mechanical finishing, making sure doors work, making sure creatures are in the right places, all of that. Then eventually you get around to polishing and being like, maybe I should put a little edge dirt right over here. Maybe I should do a little whatever. You see, remember when we dropped this way earlier to make this shorter than the walls around it, which eventually those will be skybox walls and you won't notice them anyway. This, yeah, when oh yeah, I can't even squeeze through there. Good, so I don't need to worry about blocking that off. This one, I want to block this off because I could fall off here. You can kind of see that. It's not, I could put a candle in that corner just to put something. And then, hey, a bunch of stuff. And then, whoops. And then that's it. That's pretty much the level I've got. Let me do this button. So thank you for joining me on this, I'm calling it a GAIDEN because it is, I feel I have mainly talked about the same kind of stuff I would talk about during a normal episode. Come back next week and I believe it will be a normal episode, and I'm going to give it a normal ending by saying, stay home as much as you can, wash your hands, wear a mask, you know, all as much as you can. Still, embarrassingly, still, we need to do that. You know, side with the oppressed, not the oppressor, raise the voices of those who you can give platform to, and the rule which underpins the rest of these rules is take care of one another. I'll see you next week.